What's up, guys, and welcome back to my girlfriend's dad's garage. And today we are making fun of 18-year-olds. Okay, it sounds kind of weird when you put it like that, but hear me out. If you're not a football fan, you might not be aware of the fandom that surrounds National Signing Day. This is when the nation's top high school recruits commit to whatever school they might be picking. They do it in front of their family, friends, oftentimes the entire school. And the traditional ceremony is they place a few hats in front of them representing the different schools that they might be picking from, and they end up picking the hat of the school they want. They put it on, everybody goes crazy, and it's usually televised on some sort of network like ESPN. Most of the time, it's a heartwarming ceremony celebrating the hard work and dedication that the player put in. But sometimes, it gets fucking nuts. And that's because now these 18-year-old superstars are trying to outdo one another, which can lead to some very interesting content. Shout out to this article on SB Nation by, I guess, all 5 of these guys, which helped guide me on some of the craziest moments in National Signing Day history. I read this article and was like, I need to make fun of everything on here. And who better to start making fun of than me? That's right, I was a high school football player. I ended up getting recruited and I ended up signing to a college. But the only difference between me and the other people in this video is that I was a very average player and I ended up signing with a D3 school that nobody has ever heard of. At my high school, we have a lot of players that end up going to play sports in college, so we had sort of like a joint ceremony going on. Some of my teammates were actually super good players and ended up committing to some of the top D1 schools in the country. And when they did that, everybody of course cheered and went crazy. But then when they called my name, the entire auditorium just sort of gave a collective, really? But look who's laughing now. Hopefully you, because this is a comedy video. So at the base of this National Signing Day tradition is the choosing of these hats. But why hats? How did that start? Well, back in 2006, one of the nation's top recruits, Antonio Logan L., who was a Maryland native, was committed to the Maryland Terrapins for 3 years. When he eventually held a ceremony, the wife of the head coach of the Maryland Terrapins showed up, along with a bunch of other Maryland fans. Antonio proceeded to start taking out different hats from different schools out of a bag, saying a nice few words about them, and then tossing him to the side. Well, when it came time to take the Maryland hat, he also tossed that to the side and then revealed a picture of him standing with then Penn State head coach Joe Paterno and switched his commitment to the Nittany Lions on the spot. The Maryland fans felt betrayed. One person in the crowd yelled out traitor, and the Maryland coach's wife ended up storming out completely in shock. Now, Antonio's career never really got off the ground in college, and it seemed as if a huge factor for that was that Antonio was a closeted gay man and never actually felt comfortable in the world of football. All ended well with Antonio, though, as he was quoted in the Washington Post a few years ago saying, "I'm not a bust in life. I'm still living my life, a prosperous life, a healthy life, and I'm going on with my life." That's fucking awesome. Good for him. Now, stereotypically speaking, a 300-pound monster of an offensive lineman football star is not exactly who you might peg to be the gay man from high school. But to anyone who is surprised at this, really? How did you not even have the smallest inkling of an idea that he was gay? This ceremony might as well have been a scene from RuPaul's Drag Race. Antonio sat behind a table in front of a group of people desperate for him to pick them over their rival, and then, in the most dramatic way possible, on television, by using a series of costume changes, revealed a betrayal so dramatic that people booed him and stormed out. Did his commitment ceremony not clue you in? Penn State.
You stay.
Maryland.
Sashay away.
Also, no wonder why this guy took so long to come out. The first time he announced something to the public that was different than what people expected, an actual crowd booed him. It's actually reported that Antonio had ideas of coming out at the ceremony along with his college decision. If the crowd booed him after picking a different college than they expected, what do you think they would have done if he told them he was a different sexual orientation than they expected? So since Logan L started the hat tradition, I've seen a few new themes pop up over the years. The first of those themes being props. Solomon Thomas committed to Stanford with a tree, and Isaiah Crowell committed to the Georgia Bulldogs with a puppy bulldog. I know a puppy is not a prop, but it's the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I didn't really know what section it fit in best, so I put it here. But why just have a hat, or a tree, or even a puppy when you can have a Chucky doll?
And then showing our Reese Davis, who really made the decision. He consulted with Chucky on becoming a Tiger.
Who doesn't on big life decisions?
And what better way to celebrate with a Chucky doll than the guy next to you also having a Chucky doll? It turns out the whole Chucky doll thing goes way beyond these two guys. It's sort of become a tradition of people committing to the University of Florida to do so with a Chucky doll. Do you think football team meetings at Florida are just a bunch of guys holding on to their dolls? Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, coach. What'd I miss? I think it goes without saying that some of these high school superstars think very highly of themselves. Take Bryce Brown. He was one of the most highly sought recruits of all time, so much so that he started a paid subscription website updating people about his recruiting process. It was like an OnlyFans, but instead of him showing us his boobs, he showed us his inflated ego. And some of these players take the whole inflated ego thing way too far, thinking themselves less as local high school stars and more international movie stars. Because some of these recruits created fully produced movies to share their commitments to the world. Take Dalen Hayes, who went all Christopher Nolan on us in his Dark Knight-inspired video.
Hello?
Dalen, tonight you need to make a decision.
Who's this?
You have 3 options. Ohio State, located on Broadway Street. Notre Dame on West Jefferson Avenue. And Michigan State in the alleyway off Brush Street. There are 5 minutes on the clock for your commitment. You must reach one of the 3 locations before time expires. Make your decision, Dalen.
God, country, Notre Dame. Go Irish.
Fuck, dude, that was actually pretty sick. I'm fucking jacked up now. So next we have Brandon Jones, who is a top recruit from Texas, so big in fact that the main website for the Texas A&M Aggies, TexAgs, created their own documentary called On an Island about Brandon and his recruiting process.
There's no doubt in my mind that wherever he goes to school and college, he's going to be successful. The hardest thing that he's got to do is tell people no. I mean, he's going to have to tell everybody no, except for one.
Now you can imagine making an entire documentary would help sway Brandon into signing with Texas A&M over his other competing school, University of Texas. Well, that didn't fucking work because right after the documentary came out, he signed with the Longhorns. The doc was called On an Island, which is telling because now Texas A&M and everyone's favorite island boy, Tom Hanks, have more in common than we thought.
Well done! Well done!
So the last movie I found was by the #1 kicking recruit in his year, Quinn Nordin. He made a pretty typical video of him getting off a private jet and then ending up committing to Penn State by the end of the video. But then things took a turn for the sleepy. It turns out Quinn switched his commitment to Michigan after Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh arranged a slumber party at Quinn's house. The slumber party almost didn't happen though because Quinn's parents kept getting calls from a strange man who said he wanted to sleep with their child and have him kick his own balls. So over the years, things have gotten weirder and weirder. Here's a fun one, and by fun, I mean tragic. The 1988 season was the year the Permian Panthers were featured in the book turned movie turned TV show Friday Night Lights. The villain in that story is Carter High School, who in reality fielded one of the greatest teams in high school history that year. One of the team's stars, Derek Evans, committed to Tennessee in full bling while sipping wine in a jacuzzi. Derek never ended up playing for the Vols though, being him and a few of his other Carter teammates were sentenced to jail after a string of robberies. Derek got 20 years. In an odd turn of events, it was confirmed that Derek actually had nothing to do with the robberies, but was rather sentenced to 20 years in prison because he peed in the jacuzzi. Sometimes a player has to choose between 2 teams, and sometimes that can come down to the wire. And also sometimes that decision is so close to the wire that the guy literally has to flip a coin at the ceremony.
I'm playing my next 4 years at the University of Texas.
It was reported that Chris was inspired by this famous scene from the movie No Country for Old Men.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss. Call it.
The movie also explains the reasoning for the haircut he wore that day. This next one is wacky. This lineman had 2 offers he was considering, Cal and Oregon, and gathered his whole school to watch him make his decision on live TV, ending up with Cal. What's so weird about this? Well, the whole thing was fake. When he committed, Cal coaches said they had never heard of him. And while he initially said he was duped by some sort of scammer, he later admitted that he completely made the whole thing up. What? Dude, what did you think was going to happen? Even if he fooled everybody that day, don't you think people would have caught on when he wasn't going to school and wasn't on the Cal football team? How far was this guy planning to go to prove to everyone he was a good football player? Man, I can't believe I just got drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. But you never played college football. All right, Coach Belichick, I can't wait to see you soon. Sorry, what? Also, this guy's name just happens to be Kevin Hart. And I think Big Kev could have taken some stage presence tips from Little Kev. Maybe he would have gotten away with it if he seemed a little bit more confident in his body language. Say it with your chest, Big Kev.
Say it with your chest, little ass nigga.
Oh, okay, yeah, don't say that though. Only the other Kevin Hart is allowed to say that. So we've come to the final theme of today's video, and it's by far the most emotionally confusing. I'd like to call this theme, Relatives of Athletes React Horribly When Child Makes Huge Life Decision. We'll start off low on the emotionally scarring spectrum. So first off, we have Darnay Holmes, whose little cousin was not very shy about where he wanted his big cuz to go.
He likes the UCLA call, but look at the little guy. Guys, little Ohio State. That's his nephew.
What if Darnay actually used his cousin to help make decisions in life? Damn, I'm really hungry. But this soup is too chunky. Do I use the spoon to make sure none of the liquid falls out, or do I use the fork to make sure I get all the meat morsels? Spoon! All right, spoon it is. Next, we have Jacob Copeland. Jacob was a top recruit and announced in front of his entire school his commitment to the University of Florida. Everyone in the auditorium was stoked about his decision, except one important person.
Next 3-4 years.
You got so Jacob, you're going to Florida. Who just got up and left there? And to your right, who got up and left?
Oh, that was my mom.
And why did she walk out and leave?
I don't know exactly why she walked out, but yeah.
Oh shit, dude, that's so fucked up. I feel so bad for him, man. His mom and aunt just got up the moment he made a huge life decision. Is this just how they respond when they disagree with Jacob on something? What is Thanksgiving dinner like in this household? Mommy, I don't want any more turkey. I only want stuffing. Oh, hell no. Shit. Sidebar. This story actually has a few layers to it. Jacob was apparently getting involved with the wrong crowd in Florida, and his mother really wanted him to go to another school to get him away from those people. Actually, a few moments later, she came back into the auditorium and embraced him. Actually, a very sweet moment. Hey, real quick, I'm editing this and I just had to say this. Did you see how much of an asshole the ESPN reporter was to Jacob when his mother got up and left in like this huge moment in his life?
Who just got up and left there? And to your right, who got up and left? And why did she walk out and leave?
Like he was all like, hey Jacob, who is that left you? Oh, your mom? You must be really sad. All right, good luck with everything. These commitments are like way too much of a roller coaster. And if this video is one big annoying roller coaster, we've come to the final drop. If you knew anything about commitments, you've probably heard of the viral moment when star safety Landon Collins committed to the University of Alabama next to his mother, who had some interesting thoughts on the moment.
LSU or Alabama, the #1 safety in the country, Landon Collins, will play his ball where?
It's a tough decision. I got both schools here. But I'm going to go with Roll Tide Roll.
Ooh, Alabama gets the #1 safety in the country, Landon Collins. Now, might I ask you your reaction? And I'm only doing that because there was not a lot of joy here. Can I ask why?
I feel this LSU is a better place for him to be. LSU Tigers, #1. Go Tigers.
You're making some friends. You're making some friends.
What? Dude, she's gonna embarrass her son on live TV because she's a LSU fan? And now this automatically made her a legend in the world of National Signing Day. But do you know what makes her even more special? It's not just because she reacted like that on live TV with her son Landon. It's that the very next year she reacted the exact same way with her other son Gerald when he committed to his school.
Willis III is half-brother of Landon Collins, made his choice Florida, and once again, Mom expressing her displeasure.
It is what it is. Florida Gators, that's where we're being.
Any easier this time?
Yeah, but LSU's still number one.
Could you imagine being one of her kids and having her as a mom? I would just never let her know anything about my personal life. Hey mom, I'm gonna ask Jessica to be my girlfriend. I feel like Rachel is the better girl for you to be with. Yeah, but mom, I really like her. Rachel number one, go Rachel. All right guys, well thanks for hanging out with me in my girlfriend's dad's garage. I don't really like doing the whole like and subscribe thing like at the beginning of my video, because if you're just meeting me, you have no idea who I am. Why would you subscribe to me? But if at the end of this video you were like, hey, that was funny, I want to see more of it, well, like it because that tells me you liked it, and then subscribe because you're going to get more videos from me. That's that simple. So if you liked it, go ahead and do that stuff. And if you want to talk with me, definitely go in the comments. I respond to pretty much everybody. See you next video. Peace.